Good morning, everybody. Sorry, good afternoon, everybody. And thank you for joining me here once again on the Africa Reform Network channel. African Reform Movement channel. My name is Uche. I'm going to be your host for today. And we have with us, as always, the distinguished Dr. Nii who's going to be talking to us today about how to fix the country, specifically about Ghana. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. Just a few things that you might want to know. Dr. Nii has a number of social media platforms, as you can see here, LinkedIn, YouTube, etc., which you can follow him on. If you're going to join us on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, but also remember to select the notification bell. So every time we post anything on this platform, you will be notified. You'll see what it is we're going to be doing next. So please join him there. Also, for this live stream, please send all questions directly to the chat function. If you're following us live on YouTube, you'll see questions, and that way Dr. Nii can answer your questions in real time. Because we're both very busy, but more so Dr. Nii, you won't be able to go back and look at your questions and answer them later on after the show. You're more welcome to continue commenting underneath the particular episode, but you won't be able to ask any questions that can get answered because you can only answer them in real time now, okay? Dr. Nii has a number of books which can be purchased at his Book Nook store, and the details are there. So please feel free to go along there and have a browse and select whatever books you find will be of use to you. If not to you, then to somebody else, okay? If you haven't had a chance to note down all of this information, it will be in the description box on his YouTube channel. So please don't feel that you've missed anything out there. Dr. Nii, welcome.
Thank you very much, Uche.
Sorry, Dr. Nii, two things. Sorry, we can only see from your glasses up, so you're gonna have to like rate.
Okay. I'm just trying to check on something. If I can't find it, then that's too bad. Then I just have to go ahead. I've been horribly busy, and so anyway, we'll keep going.
Okay.
Today
so before we continue, sorry, Dr. Nii, there's a light behind you. That light is up in the thing there. If you can turn it off.
I'm not too sure.
It's caused a bit of a flare on your screen.
Oh, okay. Let's see whether this one.
Oh, but then you'll be in the dark. Okay, put it back on. We'll manage. Yeah, put it back on. We'll manage. Yeah, sorry. No, put it back on. Because otherwise, we're going to be in the darkness. We're able to see you.
It's a bit unfortunate. I've not gotten what I was looking for, but today is today, and we are talking about the country. Now, on the 4th of August, there was this massive demonstration in Accra by the youth of Ghana, demanding that the present government fixes the country. This demonstration has been building up for some weeks now. I think the first time they were prevented from holding it, but this time on the 4th of August, they managed to host the protest in Accra. It's very interesting because you see, people do not, before you can fix something properly and permanently, you have to diagnose it. Okay. In clinical medicine, proper management follows proper diagnosis. When you see that people are venting their anger as a form of philosophy, then you know that even if they achieve their aim, it will shipwreck because they have not actually fully diagnosed the problem that led to the situation they protested against. Ghana is a political union put together by British imperialism. Okay? Before the British created the Gold Coast colony and eventually added Ashanti and the Northern Territories, there was no concept called Ghana. So all the problems in Ghana.
What was there before?
You just have ethnic kingdoms and chieftains.
Okay.
Living on their own. You have Ashanti Kingdom, you have Gan Kingdom, you have the Evers, you have the Fantis. They were living together. In 1844, the coastal towns like the Fantis went to the British that they wanted a defense and trade pact, which became the protectorate. and they wanted the defense against Ashanti invasion. All right, so the British took over, but it was a protectorate. Then later, other coastal towns, including the Gans, joined. Then 1874, British declared the protectorate a colony after it defeated Ashanti in 1874 war. Then 1896, there was another war between British and Ashanti, and Britain won that war and dismantled the Ashanti kingdom and exiled Ashanti Healing to Seychelles. Then 1900, there was another war, Yasenta War, the Golden Stool War, and the British won. And after that, before Britain actually annexed Ashanti as part of the colony, even then, Ashanti remained administratively autonomous until 1946, before it joined the Legislative Assembly and became part of the Gold Coast politically.
Okay.
All right. So we have this, and now before you want to say fix the country, you must be able to understand exactly what is the problem with the country. What is the problem with the country? I wrote an article many years ago and I put it on Facebook on the 14th of July 2014, The Trouble with Ghana. The trouble with Ghana. Today we're going to go through, and you understand, people understand exactly why we are where we are today. All right, can you please have the first slide?
Yeah.
Fix the country from its roots. You can only fix anything from its roots. All right. If you are just dancing around thinking that you can fix a problem that you have not actually diagnosed the problem, then you are what? Joking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So now, Dankwa and Nkrumah, the battle for the soul of Ghana. This is the most crucial thing. We have to understand the underpinnings of all that is happening in the country. We have these two gentlemen, right? We have these two gentlemen. I'm not getting what I want to get. We have these two gentlemen. Interesting gentlemen. Now, they came into, I mean, well, they are Ghanaians, or they were Ghanaians, or Gold Coasters at a certain point in time. In 1947, I won't go into the history behind the formation of the UGCs, which is the United Gold Coast Convention, but it was formed. And on the 4th of August, 1947, the Gold Coast Convention Party, United Gold Coast Convention Party, was launched. Now, the first president of that party was called Park Grant, but it was more like a figurehead. The first vice president was J.B. Dankwa. He was the political head of that movement. Now, when that movement was formed, there was a discussion as to who should be its full-time general secretary. And then one gentleman called Akwaje, he decided that he was going to recommend a friend of his. He studied with in the US to become the general secretary of the newly formed movement. Who was that person? That person was Kwame Nkrumah. Akwaje and Kwame Nkrumah studied in Lincoln University in the US. At the time, Nkrumah was in UK, with the anti-colonial movement and the agitation all over the place. He said, I have a friend who I know very well, very political, this and that. He's got energy. When we bring him across, I'm sure you will help us. They agreed upon the recommendation, and mid-December 1947, Nkrumah came to Ghana.
Okay.
Dankwa was the political head of the UGCC. Nkrumah was the administrative head, as in general secretary. We have two people who saw the world completely different, leading a new government, a new movement. We will see the trouble with Ghana. Okay. Now, some of the things I'm going to say, nobody will say them. Nobody has said them before, as a matter of fact. But people will have to understand why we are where we are. Dankwa didn't start in 1947. Dankwa started long before 1947. He had a view of Ghana, which in my view, was the most primitive and was the most bigoted. Dankwa. Okay. You are going to hear what you have to hear to know why we are in such a deep problem. Dankwa wrote a book. All right, next slide.
Oh, I clicked it. There you go.
Okay. Dankwa wrote a book in 1928, The Handbook of Akim Abuakwa. That's where it came from, Akim Abuakwa. And we are going to see the mindset of Dankwa from this book, and also the speech he delivered on the 4th of August, 1947, the inauguration of the United Gogos Convention. It is a speech I'm looking for that I haven't found yet.
Okay.
But I have the book here. I have the soft copy of the book here. We are going to read from the book how Dankwa saw the country that has become Ghana. Right. Where is the book? This is the book that he wrote. All right. I didn't write the book.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote the book. And people would hear from the man what he saw or what he thought of Ghana. On page 38, of the book, he wrote this. For the same reason as European sailors and merchant adventurers of the 15th and 16th centuries described portions of the Guinea coast after their chief products, viz., Grain Coast, part of which is Sierra Leone now, and the remainder, the African Republic of Liberia, the Ivory Coast, still known by its old name, and the Slave Coast, now Dahomey, and part of Nigeria. So gold, the bait to the adventurers of all tribes and nations, having been found in much common use among the Akan people of the Guinea Coast. Akan land came to be called Gold Coast. Akan land came to be called Gold Coast, and like a descriptive cognomen, the name has stuck to the country ever since. Akan land, to give the Gold Coast its proper name. Akan land, to give the Gold Coast its proper name. So in the mind of J.B. Dankwa, the Gold Coast, the country we call Ghana today, is actually Akan land.
Mm-hmm.
All the other ethnic groups are totally immaterial.
Right.
For J.B. Dankwa, the name, the proper name Akan land has become Gold Coast because of gold found there. Otherwise, the name of the place was supposed to be Akan land. Anyway, let's continue. Where is the other bit? Furthermore, the Akan language, with its associated dialects, is spoken throughout the country, and excepting the Northern Territories and the Gadangbe southeast corner of the coast, Akan tribal states are found everywhere in the country. Under these circumstances, one feels justified in suggesting that it will be much more accurate and fitting for the country to be called Akan land, after the name of the race who had inhabit it, not after the name of one particular mineral it produces. The Gold Coast today is famed more for its cocoa than for its gold, and it has in diamond and platinum country. And it has in diamonds. But the Gold Coast today is famed more for its cocoa than for its gold, and it has in diamonds and platinum more precious metals than gold. But no one would think of calling the country Cocoa Coast or Diamond Coast. If then the racial stock inhabiting the country is of greater and more permanent value than its exhaustible natural resources, why should not the country be called by its original and appropriate name, Akan land? Why should the country not be called by its original and appropriate name, Akan land? This is J.B. Dankwa speaking, not me speaking. This is what he wrote in his own book, The Handbook of Akim Abuako. Now, there are so many things in this book that will blow people's mind if they ever lay their hands on it to read about J.B. Dankwa's mindset. He wrote there that the original and appropriate name for our country is Akan land, which he knows was a lie. Wherever we came from, all the other ethnic groups in Ghana came to meet the Guans. So the original people of our country are the Guans, and they are spread on almost every region in Ghana. At the time Dankwa was saying this was in 1928. At the time he was saying this, the Akan population of Ghana was 43%. When you put all the Akans together, 43%. But Akans have never lived together as one political group. Never. As a matter of fact, when people understand what Dankwa has done or what Dankwa intended to do, they understand the problems we have in Ghana more than from any other source. Before Dankwa came onto the scene with this dangerous ideology, Ghana had no ethnic problem. In fact, as a matter of fact, the largest Akan subgroup, the Ashantis, their best commercial friends were the Gans, and their best military allies were the Eves. And their number one enemies were the Achen people, where Dankwa belonged. Now, within Ghana, in southern Ghana, the Gans, the Achens, the Akwapims, and the Fantis, these other three groups, they are Akan groups, but they were one militarily. They actually organized, or they merged with Gans to fight Akwamu, another Akan subgroup, and they merged with Gans to fight Ashanti in 1826 in the Cantamanso War against another Akan group. And that is why when the British came to Ghana, they called Ghana the model colony, because they have never seen any African group where there was no tribalism. There was no tribalism. Everything was based on economic needs. People related to each other purely on economic basis. That you will not see Akans ganging up to fight one group for any reason apart from economics. And like I was saying, Gans are not Akans, but they actually form military alliance with other Akans to fight other Akans because it was in their economic interest. It was as simple as that. But Dankwa came and he decided that no, if we live the way we live in, they will all have equal rights in the country. Let me try and mobilize the Akan people because they spoke similar language, they have similar culture, they are all matrilineals. Let me try and create a political Akan, and with our number, we will become the largest single group in Ghana, and then we can dominate Ghana forever and ever. The man said the country should be called Akan land. his original name. How did he become your original name when we all came to meet people there called the Guans? Now, this is what happened. On the 4th of, I can't find the speech, on the 4th of August, when he launched, so this was in 1928, right? This was 1928. On the 4th of August, when he launched the UGCC at the Asopon meeting, he started by saying that we have come all the way from old Ghana 840 years ago to this place. We fled there because we wanted our freedom. And now this is a time that we must assert ourselves. We cannot flee from old Ghana to our present place and still have freedom elude us. This, I really wanted the exactly what he said, but in that statement he was referring, because what we know is that Dankwa came out with this theory that the accounts in Ghana came from Kumbi Saleh in old near Mali, old Ghana Empire. Actually, there was also an empire called Ghana. The empire was called Wagadu Empire. The king of that empire was called Ghana. Ghana, like we have Yana today in Ghana, or we have Asantini in Ghana, or we have Gamancha in Ghana. The name of the king of that old kingdom in that desert was called Ghana. But he took that name and said that our independent country should be called Ghana because he could no longer use the word Akan land. He had to take it, use the back door. That if he was able to make the claim that the people in Ghana or in my country came from Ghana and they are bringing their old kingdom there, they automatically, they are the owner of the new country.
Mm-hmm.
So he made that push, subtly, without saying, without calling it Akan land anymore. He made that push so that he could claim it for his people. At the time, before the 3% of the population of those who are inhabiting the country called Ghana today. So the name of Ghana itself is fraudulent. We'll talk about that at some later stage. So that was Dankwa's view of this Ghana. It should be an Akan land. It should be called an Akan land. And it never changed. That one never changed. Now, God, or providence, in his own wisdom, realized that if this man ever become the prime minister of that time, there would have been a civil war before Biafra. Because there will be people didn't know him, like people now have come to know Akufo-Addo, a grandnephew of Dankwa. People have not come to know him, and people are crying because they are expert lies. They are expert lies. God knew that if this man was allowed to lead this country, there will be war before Biafra in Ghana. There will be civil war because this was his mind. God had to intervene to prevent civil war, and that's how, in my opinion, Nkrumah came in.
Mm-hmm. I
mean, when you read the story of Nkrumah, how he got in and how everything worked so quickly, you know that this was divine appointment.
Right.
Nkrumah came in few months after the formation of UGCC in mid-December 1947. By the end of February 1948, there were riots in Ghana because the ex-servicemen were killed by Superintendent Imre, chief superintendent of the British government in Accra. He killed 3 ex-servicemen, and there was riot everywhere. Before then, New Cabinet Bondi had organized a month boycott of European goods. So everything just went so fast. The British government had to bring emergency law, careful emergency law in Ghana to try and contain. It didn't work. Therefore, have decided that they were just going. And that's how our independence movement took shape and was catalyzed.
Mm-hmm.
By June 1949, Nkrumah had broken with UGCC to form the CPP with Komla Gbedema, his deputy. I'm not going to go so much into that. And Nkrumah, so this is one view. From the time Nkrumah separated with UGCC, the battle for the soul of Ghana began. It's going to be the Dankwa faction, their mindset that Ghana is a Akan land, or it's going to be Nkrumah with a different mindset. Nkrumah won the election. Even when he was in jail in 1951, his deputy Gbedema won the 1951 elections, hands down. There were 38 contested seats. Gbedema and CPP won 34, and UGC of Dankwa won only 2, and 2 went to independents, completely demolished. After the election, the UGCC dissolved, and its place was Ghana Congress Party led by Buzia. That went for 1954 elections, and the CPP completely washed GCP out. GCP got only 1 seat out of 104. CPP got 72. GCP got only 1 seat, and that seat was won by Buzia in Wenchin Ashanti with only 18 votes. So it was so clear that those who felt that Ghana should be a Akan land had been defeated thoroughly. But the battle for the soul of Ghana still continues. The battle for the soul of Ghana still continued. There was another elections in 1956, and Nkrumah again and CPP won 71 out of 104. The battle for the soul of Ghana still continued. Please, next slide. Now, Nkrumah also came. Nkrumah also came in to stop Dankwa from becoming the leader of Ghana and to stop an imminent civil war. But Nkrumah also came with his problem. You see, what is this book? You see this book? Can you show the book? Okay. I want people to be able to read what is on the book. What do you see there? Ghana, right?
Hold on a minute. Yeah.
All right. Can you make it big on the screen so that can you take the slides away?
Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Stop sharing for now.
All right. You see the book? Ghana, the autobiography of Kwame Nkrumah.
Mm-hmm.
Ghana, the autobiography of Kwame Nkrumah. Now, this is the book. I know there are many people who worship Nkrumah who have never read this book before. So they also don't know the view of Nkrumah about Ghana. Ghana, the autobiography of Nkrumah. Now, this man was brought to Ghana in December 1947. He published this book in October 1956. By the time he published this book, he's been in Ghana for less than 9 years. Ghana became the autobiography of Kwame Nkrumah. Ghana, the autobiography of Kwame Nkrumah. So my country became his personal property.
Okay.
Ghana, the autobiography of Kwame Nkrumah. You see, the lesser of two evils. For sure, the lesser of two evils was Kwame Nkrumah. But this is what it came. I didn't write it. Ghana, the autobiography of Kwame Nkrumah. And from that day, the fight has remained I'm telling you, you see what's happened as a result of this. There are two people. One of them was claiming the country for his ethnic group. Another was claiming the country for himself. The people of Ghana.
And are you saying that's clear from his autobiography that that was his personal belief that the country was his, like the different ethnic groups didn't matter? Is that an opinion, or is that truly how it come across?
The country was his. You have to read this book. Okay, you have to read this book. And not only that, when we became independent, the currency, one of our coins, had his picture on it, and it's written there, Kwame Nkrumah, the founder of Ghana.
Oh, I see. Okay.
All right. Now, so we have two mindsets. One was actually taking the country for his ethnic group, and one was taking the country for himself. Let's see how things pan out. Now, this was before Ghana's independence. Where is this page? In the preface, I read this book a while ago, so I don't know, I forgot exactly where the various things are. But before he even became prime minister, he said that, oh yeah, that's it. On the last page of his preface, this is what he said. Capitalism is too complicated a system for a newly independent nation, whatever. Hence the need for a socialistic society. Then he continued. But even a system based on social justice and a democratic constitution may need backing up during the period following independence by emergency measures of a totalitarian kind. Before he became the prime minister, before Ghana became independent, in October 1956, he said, in spite of our constitution, we need a totalitarian regime. Now, those who don't know Kwame Nkrumah and they talk, oh, bomb was thrown, it's nonsense. This is what he wrote in October 1956. He said, in spite of everything, whatever we are talking about, for a country, even with constitution, we need a backup. And the backup is that it must be of a totalitarian kind. I didn't write it. He wrote it. This book. He wrote it. But for those who don't even understand, before Nkrumah came to Ghana, in the UK, he formed a group called the Circle.
The Circle?
Yeah, the Circle.
Okay.
He formed a group called the Circle. Oh my God. Time is going. He formed a group, called the Circle. The Circle. And I think I'll probably have to leave this one out so that we are able to run up quickly. Anyway, okay. So Nkrumah became prime minister. I mean, became the prime minister of independent Ghana in 1957. And after that, what did he do? He moved from a parliamentary Westminster to 1960, a presidential system, the only presidential system with no deputy. And that gave him excessive, complete power. He was both head of state and head of the government. He could have power in his hands. He had no deputy. That was not enough. In 1962, by a private member's bill, he became life president of Ghana. That was not enough. By 1964, he had changed Ghana into a one-party state. Okay. So then he was gradually building his fiefdom. He organized a fast called a referendum, and he won 99.91% with 0 no from Ashanti region. 0 vote no from Ashanti region. The most disgraceful rigged election in the history of Africa. This was long before Saddam Hussein and the Adema and the rest came. He got 99.91. and he established a one-party state in Ghana. And he changed our national anthem, and he changed our national flag. His party flag became a national flag. And he was going to change the name of the country. And he was saying, no, the name is for you. Ghana means God has appointed Nkrumah already. That's why he didn't change the name.
Is that what you said it meant?
Well, that's why he was told, to persuade him not to change.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, those who do not know, our national flag and our national anthem was restored after Nkrumah was overthrown. Because it was his kingdom. In 1985, when in the 1960 constitution, we were supposed to vote every 5 years. But he canceled his own constitution, he brought in one-party state, and then 1985, how was he going to be elected? He appointed, at that time, we had 140 members of parliament. He increased it to 198, and he appointed all the 198 members of parliament. Ghanaians did not vote for one of them. The country was his. And then those members of parliament, by acclamation with hand, they elected him president of Ghana from 1965. I'm telling Ghanaians that the government that was overthrown in February 1966 was illegal. There's a lot of lies in Ghana, a lot of propaganda in Ghana. It was illegal. No Ghana voted for that. No Ghana voted for that. Now, so he created that country for himself. We can go on and on and on. What I'm trying to say that now, why is this relevant? Next slide, please.
Okay.
Yeah. The 1992 Constitution, its rules and philosophy. Why is what I'm saying important? Now, Rawlings came in December 1981. They were all disagreeing that it must go, there must be a constitutional rule, Okay, he agreed that there should be a constitutional rule, but there was a problem. The problem is this. What constitution will Rawlings agree to? The man was a dictator. What constitution would the man agree to that would make it easy for him to transit into a civilian government that would basically keep the same power that he had as a dictator with him? And they had to go back to more one-party constitution. And then they had to create a light version of the 1964 constitution, the one-party constitution. They had to create a light version where the president was still, the head of state was still equal to the state. So when people are making noise about this constitution, they must know where it came from. It didn't drop from heaven. There was a template there where they had to now give it a small facelift here and there, but that actually makes that constitution makes the head of state equal to the state. And that is the trouble with Ghana. You cannot say you want a new constitution, you don't want 1992 constitution if you worship Nkrumah. You cannot say that. So most of those young boys they're saying Nkrumah is Ghana, they have not the faintest idea what Nkrumah Ghana was like. This constitution is the light version of the one-party state constitution. You see, under Nkrumah, he had power to sack the whole Supreme Court, do whatever he likes with the Supreme Court. Under this constitution, the president doesn't have that power, but he appoints all the members of the Supreme Court, and there's no upper limit. So he can lose the case today, and instead of sacking the judges, he can appoint new judges to review the case. It's happened before. It happened on this constitution, under Kufuor. Now, the president can appoint as many ministers as he likes. He can create as many districts as he likes. So if his candidate loses an election, he can decide to create a district for that candidate to become CEO of that district. Like Nkrumah just increased the number of parliamentarians and appointed all of them. The president appoints all these district chief executives. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. So when people are saying the constitution must go, for me, this is a philosophy. This is my philosophy. That's why I cannot stand the 1992 constitution. That's why when I was saying that it must go long time ago, those who are clamoring now were opposing me. They didn't understand it. The battle for the soul of Ghana did not end when Dankwa died. You see, before independence, there was this group formed largely from Ashanti, National Liberation Movement. And they came with the idea of federalism. They were opposing to with the idea of federalism. Dankwa was the co-leader with Bafo Akoto. Dankwa couldn't go to parliament because he lost the election in his own hometown. They wanted federalism because they realized that at that point in time, Nkrumah was going to win the elections and they wanted part of the power. I'm a federalist, so I have no problem with NLM agitating for federalism. That's the way Ghana should have gone. Anyway. That's the way Ghana should have gone. Anyway. But these same people, if they were true to federalism, when Nkrumah was overthrown in 1966, and their people came, and Akufo-Addo, our president, his father was the chairperson of the Constitutional Assembly that wrote the 1969 Constitution. They should have opted for a federal state. But they didn't. They also wanted the whole power, just like Nkrumah, except that in Buzia's time, out of his 29 ministers and deputy ministers, only 6 were not accounts. So, oh yes, we move from one party state to one ethnicity state. The battle for the soul of Ghana never ended with Dankwa. His deputy, Buzia, came to implement it. There was no other in Buzia's government. All the others are the second largest group in Ghana. There was one minister and one deputy minister from Ghana. There was one deputy minister from the northern region, and there were 3 ministers from the upper region. Dombo, Jato Kalu, and I think Pedam. The remaining 23 out of 26 were all accounts. At that time, accounts were 44% of our country, but 85% of our cabinet, including plus Buzia, who was the prime minister. So it was so clear that what they wanted was backdoor to say that this is our land. Now, Akufo-Addo is the worst of everything because it's an embodiment of totalitarianism, of Nkrumah's mindset, and of Dankwa's mindset. He is the only one with both. The problem we have in Ghana is one of a constitutional problem and one of the Dankwa Buzia ideology of Akan land. I'm telling you. We see it all the time. A minister of state will say that the right owners have taken their country back. And he still remains a minister. Because she was speaking for those who could not speak. In 1992, when we're going to have our first elections after Rawlings military rule, one of the main campaign messages of MPP, this party, was Yaji, we are taking back our country. What about the others?
Mm-hmm.
What about the others? Today, or at least at the last census in 2010, the percentage of accounts in Ghana was 47.5. So not the majority, the largest, but not the majority. And I know a lot of accounts don't believe in this nonsense. But a lot of the political elite think that way. It is a problem. I'm saying it. I know nobody will say it, but I'm saying it. Because I didn't write for Boozy. I didn't write the book for Dankwa. I didn't write it for him. I did from the government for Buzia. So people can say, okay, what you are saying is not true. They have to prove to me that what I'm saying, because I'm reading for the book the person has written, and I'm reading for Buzia's record.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to one friend of mine, an Ashanti friend of mine recently. They said, oh, Nii, and the Buzia government was Westminster. So if you don't have all the ministers came from parliament. So if you didn't have any minister from water region, which is where the others are, how could I appoint a minister from them? I told him, well, Buzia won 2 seats in water region. Buzia won 2 seats in water. If you do not know, Buzia won 2 seats in water region. You could have made at least one of them a deputy minister to show respect to the second largest ethnic group. When I read Dankwa's book, when he was mentioning the non-account Ghanaians, he mentioned the Northern Territory in southeastern Ghana, southeastern corner of Ghana, the Gadangis, the Gans. He did not mention the Evers. And it's not an error. It's not an accident. He did not mention the Evers, the second largest ethnic group in Ghana. I'm telling you, the trouble with Ghana are these 2 mindsets. All the fights. At Tamils came, they said that I was going to make Nkrumah's birthday Founders Day, 21st September. Nkrumah said he didn't know when he was born. The 21st September, in his own book, said that it was given to him by the Roman father, the school he attended. He didn't know when he was born. That became a national holiday. And then Akufo-Addo came, he said, no, it's not founders as in E''S, but founders as in ES. It's RS. Founders in plural. And which day did he choose? He chose 4th August, the day that Dankwa claimed that the Ghanaian people in Ghana came from old Ghana. 4th August, which was this 4th August, he decided that that should be Founders Day and that should be a public holiday. The day that UGC was formed, UGC did not live for even 4 years because Bedema destroyed that party in 1951. That is the day Akufo-Addo is telling you is the Founders Day. How did that become a Founders Day?
Mm-hmm.
How did that become a Founders Day? UGC was founded on that day and that party disappeared in 4 years. But the battle for the soul of Ghana continues. The unity state we have and the one government party that we have is the light version of Nkrumah's idea of the power of the head of state. And the mindset of some people in our country to believe that this country belongs to them is the other force, the Dankwa mindset. The friendship between ethnic groups have been destroyed because Dankwa decided to create a political movement around ethnicity. Until that point in time, ethnic groups there was no ethnicity, there was no tribalism. Not too long ago, Asantini hosted the king of the Evers. And he said that he doesn't even know where this is coming from. In the olden days, they never even fought Evers, they were allies. But all these problems came from the politicians. They can take their policy away and leave us alone. That's what Asantini said, and that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
This notion of anti-Ashanti anti-account nonsense never existed in our country. Never. We lived, and that's why Ghana, of the 53 countries that the Britain colonized, they call Ghana the model colony. Because in this colony, the things that brought war everywhere else did not bring war in Ghana.
Right.
Achin people, Akamu people, whatever people, we live together. They fought among themselves. Akans fought among themselves more than against other people. Achin never fought Ghana. They fought Asante 99 times or 100 times, whatever. Achin, Akwapi Frontier, Akan groups, they joined Ghana to fight Akamu. The same group joined Ghana to fight Asante in 1826. We never lived with this ethnic nonsense. But Dankwa, I'm telling you, Dankwa created it, and it's still lingering around. People are always looking at things from primitive, bigoted, tribal viewpoints. The roots of the 1992 constitution that people have now realized is flawed. The root is Nkrumah's one-party constitution.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot kick against this constitution and worship Nkrumah. That's what I'm saying. You cannot. This is a libation. And until we dismantle these two forces fighting for the soul of Ghana, we are not going to go anywhere. And that's where the next slide is coming from. The way forward, democracy. We have to create a political system that the head of state will never be equal to the state, to completely smash Nkrumah legacy. We have to create a system of government that 44% will not be represented by 85%. We have to do that to crush any ethnic hegemony. Nobody can say that, but I'm saying it.
Sorry, 44% will not be ruled by 85%.
Yeah, because in Buzia's government,
yeah,
the affairs in Ghana were 44%, but they were 85% in cabinet.
Oh, I see. Got it. Okay. Mm-hmm.
That's the one ethnicity country, the state, the one ethnicity. We have to have a structure of government that will never allow that to happen.
Right. Okay. Got it.
And yeah, and that is why under our democracy we have proportional representation even in government.
Mm-hmm.
And we have proportional representation in parliament as well. We have to crush these two evils. And that's the way forward. So when we are talking about a new constitution, what new constitution are you talking about? You have to understand what the problem is, so that it appears in your new constitution, the new agenda, the new thinking becomes a dominant feature of the new constitution. Otherwise, you write another constitution, fifth republic constitution, and it's going to be a makeup of the fourth one. We have to crush these two devils to free the soul of Ghana for Ghanaians.
Mm-hmm.
That's the trouble with Ghana. That is the trouble with Ghana. Dr.
Nii, thank you very much for sharing that. I'm pretty sure you shed some light on a number of issues for people, things they didn't really know about. Brought up some issues that they would never, as you said, something that people would never normally come out and say in public, but this is what, conversation needs to be had as to what is really wrong with the country, and it might involve saying things that people aren't used to hearing. But if it's the truth, it's the truth. So people need to just accept that. So all of the comments are from Shika, so I'll just read a few here. With regards to the earlier point, Mr. Dankwa, obviously in order for this battle for the soul of Ghana to end, we need a national dialogue and national reconciliation.
That is true. That is true. But you see, even the dialogue and the reconciliation must have an agenda. Mm-hmm. And people must be able to bold to say what the problem is. That's the whole thing. You know, Dankwa. You know, sometimes I wonder. I say to myself, what do people want at all in this life? You know, it's so hard to understand the mindset of some people. Now, I'll read something here from Dankwa's book. Page 23. Where is that page? Then you understand how primitive that mindset is, or that mindset was. Oh, where is that? Okay, so there we go. Page 23. The cocoa bean was introduced into the colony in 1879 by a native African on his return from Sao Tome, an island in the Gulf of Guinea. In 1891, 80 pounds of the cocoa were exported into Europe. And today, marvelous has been the achievement of the Gold Coast people, not the least, so the Akim Abuakwa people, in producing nearly 50% of world cocoa. Now, this is Dankwa. This is 1928, okay? In 1925, the white governor of the Gold Coast, Sir Gordon Godgisberg, proclaimed for once and for all that the first person to bring cocoa to Ghana was Tetekwashi. And when Achimota School was built with cocoa money, he said one of the houses to be named after Tetekwashi, and he established the Tetekwashi Memorial Scholarship in Achimota for intelligent and needy students. And then he established £3,000 annual royalty or whatever for the Tetekwashi family. This is what the white man did. 3 years down the line, David Nanga writing a book could not mention the name of that Ghanaian. He had to call Tetekwashi, who brought prosperity to his people, an African native, because the man was not from his ethnic group.
Oh, wow. So could he even say his name?
He couldn't mention his name.
Wow.
He could not mention his name. He actually said the cocoa was brought in 1879 by a native African on his return from Sao Tome. A native African. When his name was all over the place, Dankwa couldn't mention his name because Dankwa was so primitive and petty and a bigot. Now, in this one paragraph alone, he made 4 mistakes. Tetekwashi wasn't an African, native African. 1, Tetekwashi was a Ghanaian man from Osu, Accra. That is why. 2, Tetekwashi did not return in 1879. He returned in 1876. 3, he did not go to Sao Tome. He went to Fernando Po. And 4, the first shipment of cocoa from Ghana was 1892, not 1891. So in one paragraph, this man made 4 errors. How many more errors did he make in the book?
Yeah.
This man wanted to be leader of Ghana, and people worship him. He couldn't write one paragraph correctly because he was so angry that this man was not from his group. Meanwhile, when he got to the point of Ghana producing 50% of world cocoa, he had to bring in his ethnic group, Akim Abuakwa. This is how I put it. And today, marvelous has been the achievement of the Gold Coast people, not the least so the Akim Abuakwa people, in producing for the world nearly 50% of his total cocoa tonnage. He had to bring his people in. That's all you could think about. The man who went to slave 6 years in Fernando Po to bring the cocoa to our country, you couldn't mention his name.
That's crazy. That's just to me so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
This is the problem we have. It's the problem we have. But it wasn't him alone. When you take this Nkrumah book, and Nkrumah, when he wrote his book, I think chapter 7 is on the Asante problem. It's all about cocoa. Nkrumah also could not mention Tetteh Quarshie's name. Because while the guy was fighting for Akim Abuakwa, or for a camp group to own everything in Ghana, Nkrumah was fighting for himself to own everything in Ghana. Mentioning Tetteh Quarshie will belittle him. As a matter of fact, the Tetteh Quarshie Memorial Scholarship that the White Man Institute and Achimota School was changed and Nkrumah to CMB Scholarship, Kogo Makendibo Scholarship, so the name of Tetteh Quarshie would disappear. Meanwhile, he benefited from that scholarship. Those who don't know, I'm telling them. One guy was fighting for his ethnic group, another guy was fighting for himself. The white man came and lifted this Tetteh Quarshie man up. Black man had to do everything to take him out of our history. But he brought the cocoa. At the time of independence, this Nkrumah man, he wrote in his book that Ghana's foreign exchange, 68% came from cocoa. Cocoa was giving Ghana more money than all the natural resources God put into our ground. But I couldn't mention the guy who brought his name. The white man did. There we go. Until we destroy these two devilish ideologies, we are not going anywhere. And the way to do it is to write a new constitution that will smash the head of state equals to the state, and that will smash ethnic unity. That's the point. So when people are talking of new constitution, they must know what they're asking for. This is what I'm putting on the table. That is the way to go.
Wow. Well, Dr. Nii, we've gone over an hour. There are mainly comments from Shika, but you've also answered some of the questions or comments that she's made. So I don't need to go and read through all of them. Yeah, but you've already answered me what you're saying. So I just want to say thank you once again for that. It's just so sad. As a people, we just got to do better. If somebody is qualified to do something with their own ingenuity and entrepreneurship, they've gone ahead and done something, we should just celebrate them irrespective of where they come from, irrespective of which group they've come from. If you're going to benefit at the end of the day, we need to learn how to lift each other up. We've got to lose this crabs in a barrel syndrome and all that nonsense. We've got to lose it. I mean, it's easier said than done because it's gone on for hundreds of years. But yeah, it's just like the way you just highlighted that. It's just so petty. I mean, it goes on in lots of different African countries, obviously not just Ghana. It's just such tribalism. It's just such a terrible thing. It's a nonsensical concept. It really is. Yeah. It's an awful concept.
Yeah, you know, people defending it, and people. I mean, I look at it and say, "Oh my God, I pity you."
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
So, well, once again, thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to connect with Dr. Nii on social media. And most importantly, don't forget to spread the word about the work that he is doing here, informing people as to the ways to change not only Ghana, but the continent of Africa. Thank you very much, Dr. Nii. Thank you very much, everybody else.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.